Well, ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube. We are checking out CKB today. Check me out on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I'm always dropping links to new videos, charts, news, anything I find interesting about crypto. So give me a big follow here on Twitter. Back to CKB, folks. I know you guys are kind of like, oh my gosh, what is CKB doing right now? We're seeing all these highs and then these lows swinging around like crazy. Well, let's not forget that this current setup looks exactly or has been trading almost the same as this previous run up here. So let's get into this. And I know a lot of people might not have seen this chart. I've seen this example that I like to show everyone, but if we take the price action of this last run up and just kind of make it fit this current price structure, I mean, you can see, bear with me, how scary similar this is. And it really is, it's a spitting image so far of everything that has been kind of going on already, in my opinion. I mean, you can kind of make your own judgment for this, but it is very close. And that is very interesting to me to see this price action kind of play out in the same direction as it once did. So with that said, I do think that history does repeat itself quite often enough, and we are still seeing this upward trend with CKB. What is going on right now? I do think that we are seeing a spring being loaded because we have this inverse head and shoulders. You could argue the cup and handle, and none of this is still off the table just yet. On the daily chart, you can see how price action kind of got away from the cloud a little bit too early. But this was necessary because price action chose the weakest spot in the Ichimoku cloud to pass through. And this is what I love to look for. So what does this require? Well, we need to see price action move closer to the cloud before we can move up again. So we'll get into this little structure here in just a second, but you can kind of see how Ichimoku cloud trading is nice in this way because you can kind of get the feeling that, hey, price action is kind of a ways from the cloud right now. Maybe we will consolidate sideways. You see this consolidation towards the cloud, moves up again, same thing. And then eventually you get to a point where it's like, oh my gosh, we're so far away from the cloud, and we get pulled right back to it. So think of the cloud as a magnet in some respects. Currently, we did have the conversion line pass this baseline back in mid-October, which was huge. That sent price skyrocketing upwards, and now we are in this sideways consolidation process. And what we really need to do is look at the candles and what they are telling us. So currently, you can kind of see that we are in some sort of squeeze pattern. We have a nice bull flag pull, but we may be seeing a bull flag forming. Now bear with me 1 second here. You could kind of make this argument that we have some sort of bull flag, which is different than a pennant, because we can kind of recognize that this is more of a flag-like structure from the highs and lows than it is a symmetrical triangle. So with that said, it is great to see that we are holding ground, and I do think that we might see price action start moving up accordingly in the coming days. We might end up forming a symmetrical triangle at the end of this to move up even higher, and all of this is really kind of contingent on the rest of the market. But for now, I do think that we are seeing price action really consolidate, and this might do this for another few days as we inch closer to the cloud. I would say the next 3 to 5 days, And this could be where this November 8th date is coming into play, is that when we will move upwards. I do know that I think I measured off this wick to this wick. I think that we came up with, okay, so that wasn't it. Maybe I measured from here to down here. Okay, that's not it. Bear with me 1 second here, folks. I bet it was from this high to this low. And you can kind of see this November 5th to November 8th, depending on where you put this time sequence. I think one could really argue that since this candle is more full-bodied to the upside, you could easily use that. So I would say from November 3rd to November 8th. I know that's kind of a wide range, but I do think that, somewhere in this time frame, maybe November 5th, give or take a couple days on each side, is when we may see price action really start to climb again. So that's just a guess. It's not financial or trading advice. That is just my guess. And when I say that's just my guess, I mean it. So another thing that we could argue is, again, this could be a grand scale ascending triangle getting ready to lift off. And if that does happen, folks, man, I do think that we will see some crazy numbers produced out of CKB coming up. And to just kind of give you guys some projections, we'll go both to the upside and the downside. I mean, 5 cents on the table, 6 cents, no problem. If we go to the 200% level, 8 cents. But right now, I've got my eye on this 3 cent, 3.5 cent level to the 4 or 5 cent level. So with that said, let's look at the downside, because if Bitcoin flip-flops on us, it'd be nice to know where we might end up. This 1.5 level wouldn't surprise me at all. And really, that's the last stop that we would be at before heading to some tragedy lows, maybe back down to a penny. I don't see that happening right now, as long as Bitcoin is kind of doing its thing. So let's look at Bitcoin right now. And I know I mentioned this in yesterday's chart, that we have this rising wedge. It is apparent, it is evident, it is there. There's no questions about that. This exists. And again, not because I want it to, but because it does. We can see right now, let's just look at a 4-hour chart. Bitcoin is testing the upper trend line of this, and if it does fail, like I said in yesterday's video, maybe down to the $57,000 level to retest this 50 moving average. If it breaks lower, maybe a $50,000 to $52,000 Bitcoin. And again, this could, and we don't know, but it's always fun to speculate, this could turn around and bounce to come up here for a third rally up to this $70,000 to $75,000 level, just like I said in yesterday's video. So, if this thing does crash, I'm saying at the bottom of the bear market, I think we might have a $20,000 Bitcoin. And I'm not just saying that it's going to happen next week or tomorrow. I'm saying at the bottom of the bull market, just like I said in the last video. So whenever that happens, whether it's this year or next year, nobody knows. But my calculations are kind of telling me that might be it. And I've been in Bitcoin since it was $6 a Bitcoin. So I am the OG of crypto trading, and probably one of the people that bought Bitcoin at its lowest price that I can guarantee you that. So with that said, check me out on Twitter, again, at Real6Fig, and I am dropping charts, thumbnails. Crypto Airborne has got some exciting news that he's going to be dropping on his channel, so follow him. Also, Crypto TA and Crypto Airborne are coming on my channel tonight live, and this is going to be a fun time. So, going to have some TA for everyone, and it's always nice to get everyone's perspective on the market. So with that said, folks, I'm going to wrap this video up. Big shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you're not interested in becoming a Patreon, but you want to support the channel, smash that like button. I totally appreciate it more than you know. And if you're interested in becoming a Patreon, it's $3 a month. You get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner. Thank you, everyone, for watching.